Just going to take a second here. Raven says, good morning, one and all. May today be your greatest day. Yeah, and you as well, my friend. Sniper's here.
So that...
Sorry, guys. Grand Risings, Eric and Raven. Grand Risings to you, Sniper. Hope you're having a good day so far. I know you're a bit later in the day. Just give me a second. Who else do we have here? Raven says, hello to Squirrel. Hey, Stuart. Hello, Yogi, my brother. I was just thinking about you this morning, Stuart. Hoping that all is well with you. So says the Squirrel, my brother. So I've been pondering over a section in the Course of Miracles. Chapter 17. Or I'm sorry. Actually, chapter 2. I'm reading chapter 17, but chapter 2 came up into my awareness the past 2 days. Boom says, hello, Dolly. Hey, I didn't see Dolly come in. There she is. Says, good morning, Yogi and friends. Good morning, Dolly. How are you? I don't want it to sound, I'm always very careful. I don't want anything that I say in any way to seem to represent bypassing, that we're skipping what's present in the moment, no matter what it is we're going through, and shoving it aside and replacing it with a more pleasant thought. Don't want to bypass. We want to honor. You guys remember Rumi's The Guest House? Whatever's present, we welcome as a gift because we don't know what it's clearing us out for in its place. Course in Miracles offers a very simple prayer. This need not be. Whatever it is. I was reading this last night in the live stream. Sorry, my cat's jumping up at me. Stuart says, the driving instructor couldn't fault me. Awesome. So, how many lessons do you have? Phoenix says, this need not be. Yep, so we're gonna dive into that just a little bit. This is from chapter 4, the illusions of the ego, and it's section 4. This is in paragraph 2. You heard me read this last night. I have said that you cannot change your mind by changing your behavior. But I've also said many times that you can change your mind. And again, that's not bypassing. First, we recognize, then we surrender. And then we don't have to replace. We just listen to what's already present. Remember Herman Melville, Moby Dick, said silence is the only voice of God. So we're not doing the hard work. All we got to do is recognize what I'm experiencing now need not be. We always want to manipulate the world to suit our inner needs instead of doing the exact opposite, of simply noticing what's going on within that is being projected outward to create the world that we're seeing. The world's an illusion. I don't mean it's not solid. I don't mean to say that it doesn't feel real. We certainly experience the effects of an illusion. We know that through the placebo effect, right? Placebo pill could be nothing more than a sugar pill, and yet many people have had the effect of being completely healed by placebo, sorry. And it's all a placebo. And yet we are suffering the effects. We could easily say disease, dis-ease of the world at large. We live in a world where children are literally starving every night when we have plenty, that wars are fought because of the whim of one person who wants one thing, that uh, so many people have so much. And it seems that the system is rigged to give them more and everyone else less. We get by. I'm not calling for class warfare. I'm calling for a change of our thoughts that will change the world that we see. So, when your mood tells you that you have chosen wrongly, and all we get is feedback, everything is feedback. The world that we see is feedback from the thoughts that we think. You don't like the world, don't go out and protest it. You could, it's not going to make any difference. Don't try to manipulate it, don't try to fix it. Go within and recognize, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And then, just through that noticing, in yoga psychology, they tell us, just be aware. Just through the awareness, things begin to change. Course in Miracles takes it one step farther. Surrender that to another thought form, another thought system. And that's the thought system of the Holy Spirit, which is always whispering. If God is silence, then the Holy Spirit is God's whisper or communication. We don't have to do anything. We just surrender and we can shrug. I don't know what to do. I can't fix this. I'm worried. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm lonely. And I don't know what to do. The Holy Spirit knows what to do. So we surrender to the Holy Spirit. If you don't like the term Holy Spirit, use something else. Hi, Karen. Hey, Soul Stars. I did yesterday until I didn't. Stupid hindsight. Let me put that in context real quick. Stuart said 1 down, 5 to go. I just want to see what I've missed. Good morning, Sniper, says Soul Star. So I don't have a lesson next week, but I have 5 lessons next 5 weeks after. So a lesson a week. Nice, Stuart. Congratulations on getting your first one down. I got 6 lessons so far. Then he said we'll see after that. Raven said I had 8 lessons from start to full license back in '87. That's probably about when I got my license too. Thereabouts. I was a little late getting my license, probably a good thing, as I was reckless. And I stayed reckless for a long time. Semper says the ego constantly compares itself, yes, to others, leading to judgments of being better than or less than. Yet it's 2 sides of the same coin, rooted in the deep need to define oneself in relation to others. Yes, and as soon as we realize that the ego, not good or bad, as soon as we go to battle with the ego, we're doing what the ego wants. We just recognize it's not who we are. It's a navigational system that has gained a sense of autonomy. It can never be autonomous because it's not real, but it believes it is autonomous, separate from others, separate from the source, separate from God, separate from love. Raven says, I always put myself down, then no one else can hurt me. But you're hurting yourself. So you're doing the job of other people, and you don't need to. This need not be. As soon as you realize that, Raven, this need not be. Surrender those unkind thoughts that you have against yourself. Even my cat's agreeing. Surrender them. Surrender those thoughts. Simply say, this need not be. Here's the thing. It feels like work until it isn't. Surrender takes practice. It doesn't really take practice, but we need to keep remembering until it becomes that habitual state of mind of which it's supposed to be. It's nice to see you, Karen. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Stolzer says, I did yesterday until I didn't. Have I missed someone? Oh, there she is. Hemlada Dream Girl says, good morning. Good morning, my friend. Hey, I'm sorry if I don't get anyone at first. My apologies. Sosa says, I needed to hear that as well. Once I believe I have the ego tempered, it comes it comes the jump scare. In comes the jump scare. Yeah, sometimes when we step upon what we could call a spiritual path, we hear, you know, the ego does this, the ego does that, and we immediately go to battle. I will never respond from the ego again. Um, I know many of you are familiar with Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle, actually, great affinity for A Course in Miracles, but he's a universal teacher. Doesn't belong in any one camp. It's all from his own awakening. And as he said, simply recognize the ego and learn to smile at it, that gentle smile. The ego jumps in. We spend an entire day of ego reactivity. And then it comes evening and we want to punish ourselves. We want to do what Ray was saying, put ourselves down. We don't have to. That gentle smile, man, I really was centered in ego today. That's it. Surrender. Solskjaer says, yes, indeed. I love Eckhart. Me too. Specifically, A New Earth. I mean, The Power of Now really set so many people on the path, and it's a powerful book. But A New Earth is just filled with so much hope. To me, man, I would go from A Course in Miracles to A New Earth, and it could be such a seamless school of being. School of being. Thank you, Dolly. Dolly says, hit that like, share, and connect. Much appreciated. Stuart says, Karen, are you in Turkey? Sorry, looking at my watch. Kenya says, Fisherman, I'm in Kenya. It's 10:15 here. It's 5:16 here. Sorcerer says, I have a New Earth on my altar to read again. I've been called to chapter 5, speaking on pain body. You've mentioned the pain body a few times. Hey, let me find my copy. It's right there. And I will go through chapter 5 with you. Remind me. So it says, Kenya, you're a beautiful place with the safaris that are there. So when the mood tells you that you have chosen wrongly, and this is so whenever you are not joyous, joy being our natural state, don't confuse joy with happiness. Joy is ever present. When something happens to us, we can still be joyful because we're alive and we have options. So if you're angry, if you're unhappy, if you're sad, if you're even depressed, don't confuse that for not being joyous itself. There's a subtle difference. The type of happiness that we are conditioned to believe in has its ups and its downs. It's conditional. But that underlying level of joy is the sheer joyousness of being alive and knowing that we're connected. That you can go outside right now. For me, it's still dark. It will be for half an hour or so, 45 minutes. Raise your hand into the sky and simply notice, is there any place where my hand leaves off and the universe begins? Is there any place where the night sky, the morning sky, ends and your hands begin? It's seamless. One seamless expression. You indeed are the universe itself. There's no separation. The universe is a thought in the mind of God. You are a thought in the mind of God. There can be nothing but that joyous expression. Love and love and love. So whenever you are not joyous, then know this need not be. That's our prayer. This need not be. That's mindfulness in an essence. This need not be. I can simply not try to change my behavior. I can change my thoughts. But first I have to recognize what my thoughts are, that I'm choosing the ego. But I don't have to. I can choose what the Course calls the Holy Spirit, what some of you might call the Tao, some might just call a loving presence, a friend, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, an angel, your guardian angel, Doesn't matter. It's all the voice of our connectivity. In every case you have thought wrongly about some brother, God created. The essence of forgiveness. I have thought wrongly about you because I have judged you as only form. I've judged you by only action. Let's see. I get asked that question a lot. So Hoodlum says, "Do you believe in God?" No. And then someone, when I said that yesterday, they said, "So you're an atheist?" No, I'm not an atheist. Karen says, "You're highly welcome, fisherman." Soul Stars says, "We are the universe and the morning sky." Yes. Doesn't that just fill you with joy knowing that? Remember, and let's speak metaphorically here. Uh, on the sixth day, God surveyed all he created and said, "It is good." What did he leave out? Nothing. They didn't say it's all good, except for that Yogi guy. I messed up a little on him. Hey, Cat and Jack. Cat and Jack says, "Good morning." Good morning to you, Cat. How are you? I had you up playing. I paused it because I didn't want to miss anything. I have your live stream from last night. Hey, Crafting. Crafting says, "Hi, Yogi," and all in chat. Hello, my friend. Raven says, "Hello to Budgie." Crafting says, "He beat me to it, Fisherman's Lodge." Everyone's saying hi. This need not be. Think honestly. What have you thought that God would not have thought? And what have you not thought that God would have you think? God thinks in terms of love. That's it. Bottom line. Any unloving thought is not of God. It's all we have to notice. We are either choosing fear in all of its many guises, judgment, grievances, resentments, all based out of fear, guilt, all based out of fear. Fear is the opposite of love. But as the Course says, that which is all encompassing, which is love, can truly have no opposite. So it's an illusion. Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. So think honestly, always say, this need not be, and then think honestly, what have you thought that God would not have thought? And what have you not thought that God would have you think? Search sincerely for what you have done and left undone accordingly, and then change your mind to think with God's. Align with God. That's it. Align with the universe. Align with the Tao. This may seem hard to do, but it's much easier than trying to think against it. When you are not thinking the thoughts of God, when you're not thinking loving thoughts, you're literally thinking against the entire universe. Man, you against the universe, guess what? I'd like the universe's odds. No offense. No offense to you guys. You guys might be pretty powerful. However, the odds are with the universe. And a universal oneness, the illusion of you standing against it, you don't stand a chance, guys. Which is a good thing. CBM says 32 away, Raven. Hey, Jason. Hey, Gideon. Gideon said hi. Oh, getting close to 500. Only 32 away. That's awesome. Anyone here not subscribed to Crafting Budgie Mama? Sure. Gideon, you can do whatever you like. Solstice says, good morning, Gideon. Solstice said, good morning, Jason. Gideon says, hey, IG. Miss Flipper says, hello. Hello, Miss Flipper. How are you? Gideon says, cool, bro. If we were to think of Satan as nothing more than an aspect of the ego that is choosing separation, choosing belief in a small, limited self, choosing belief that atrocities can truly be committed against ourselves and others, then we recognize that it really is just an illusory voice, not an actual thing, not an actual entity. Hey, Lucy. Let me go back in here, guys. Your mind is one with God's. Denying this and thinking otherwise has held your ego together, but has literally split your mind. The entirety of A Course in Miracles, the entirety of yoga, is to heal the split mind. Union. Yoga means union. Bring together. Yoke. The mind, it says, has literally split your mind. However, it's still one mind. When you are sad, no, this need not be. Depression comes from a sense of being deprived of something you want and do not have. That could be as simple as peace of mind. It could be love. It could be whatever deep root. Remember that you are deprived of nothing except your own decisions, and then decide otherwise. When you are anxious, realize that anxiety comes from the capriciousness. You guys didn't think I was going to be able to say that, did you? Of the ego. I'm going to show off. I'm going to say it one more time. Capriciousness. Until someone says, you did say that wrong. That's okay. And no, this need not be. Our great prayer for the day. This need not be. You can be as vigilant against the ego's dictates as for them. When you feel guilty, remember that the ego has indeed violated the laws of God. The ego has. But you, that's right. I'm pointing at you. Sorry. There you go. I knew I could do it. You have not. The ego has indeed violated the laws of God, but you have not. You are not the ego. It's a representation, a thought. Leave the sins. Remember, sin simply means miss the mark of the ego to me, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha. This is what atonement is for. But until you change your mind about those whom your ego has hurt, the atonement cannot release you. That's why we forgive. While you feel guilty, your ego is in command because only the ego can experience guilt. This need not be. Only the ego can experience guilt. Only the ego can experience anxiety. Only the ego can experience depression. Just the ego. But you are not the ego. Hey, Salim. Nice to see you, my friend. Watch your mind for the temptations of the ego and do not be deceived by it. It offers you nothing. That's it. It offers you nothing. Lots of people want to jump in and defend the ego. The ego's not good. It's not bad. It's nothing. It's not true. It doesn't actually exist. It's a thought within a thought. When you have given up the voluntary dispiriting, you will see how your mind can focus and rise above fatigue and heal. Yet you are not sufficiently vigilant. I can say capriciousness, okay, and then I stumble on vigilant, against the demands of the ego, to disengage yourself. This need not be. So we want to develop a new habit. Our habit is aligning with the ego, The habit of engaging with God and His creations is easily made if you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. This need not be. That's all we got to remember. I can choose peace instead of this. We're going to talk for another minute or two. The problem is not, and I love this part, the problem is not one of concentration. It is the belief that no one, including yourself, is worth consistent effort. So we don't have to go through life. That's my concentration look. If you're wondering, why is he making that face? I'm concentrating. This is, I teach meditation for a living, sort of. And everyone thinks meditation is concentration. It's not. It's effortless. You think the mantra, you think the mantra, you think the mantra, and then you notice I'm no longer thinking the mantra. I'm thinking about lasagna. I don't even eat lasagna, and yet here I am thinking about lasagna. Or I'm thinking about football game, and I don't even watch football, but I'm thinking about football. Or doing the dishes, or my next cup of coffee, or whatever. And then you go, oh, I'm thinking about coffee. And I go back to the mantra. No effort, no concentration. Noticing, noticing, noticing. Consistent noticing. And then surrender. I can't do this. I can't concentrate. I can't keep doing this or doing that. You don't have to. Surrender it to the Holy Spirit. Side with me, not me personally. This is the voice of Jesus, by the way, and A Course in Miracles. Side with me consistently against this deception and do not permit this shabby belief to pull you back. The disheartened are useless to themselves and to me, and the ego only can be disheartened. Have you really considered how many opportunities you have had to gladden yourself and how many of them you have refused? When we refuse to forgive for whatever reason, we're refusing the opportunity to gladden ourselves. We're refusing joy. We're refusing freedom, but we don't know it. There is no limit to the power of a son of God, of which you are, by the way, or daughter, but he can limit the expression of his power as much as he chooses. That's pretty powerful. There's no limit to the power of a son of God, but he can limit the expression of his power as much as he chooses. Why do we keep choosing our littleness instead of choosing our grandness? Why do we keep choosing the ego when we could be choosing love? Habit. So watch our habits. Let's see, what does Miss Flipper have to say? Hey, Praveen, how are you, my friend? Sorry I missed you guys when you came in. My apologies. Miss Flipper says, you think of someone you don't like, it gets on your nerves or makes you suffer unduly, etc. What comes to mind is fine. You see a tiny spark in them anyway, and let it grow. Selective remembering or selective forgetting, whatever the case may be. You see that tiny spark and let it grow. That's selective remembering. Oh yeah, you have that same spark that I have. We don't want to put ourselves in the same category as someone who has wronged us, or as someone who we view as evil, wrong, bad, sinful. Guess what? They have that same God spark that you have, because that's all it is. Hey, Memes. Memes says hello. Hello, my friend. Thank you for that, Miss Flipper, as always. Crafting says, hi, everyone. Let's come in multitasking. John Nelson says, if a dog eats my poo, will it turn into dog poo? Yes. It's no longer yours. Sina says, I try and choose peace until I can't. Well, how do you feel when you can't? What if you chose peace when you can't choose peace? What if you just shrugged and said, well, right now I can't, but maybe I will in the next moment, or the next moment, or the next moment? I keep reminding myself and others, to teachers, we're either teaching fear, we're either listening to the voice of fear, or we are listening to the voice of love, the Holy Spirit, the voice of peace. It's okay to choose the wrong teacher. But when you don't choose the right teacher, just know that you're not. It's as simple as that. Just know that you're not. That's a big realization. Okay, right now I'm not choosing peace. It's okay. But don't punish yourself for not choosing peace. Just notice it. And what comes when you notice it? Now you've let go of this whole big sense of guilt and weight that you've placed upon yourself for being a poor student. Man, I didn't listen to the right teacher. I'm such a horrible student. I'm a horrible practitioner of A Course in Miracles. I'm a horrible Buddhist. I'm a horrible Wiccan. I'm a horrible whatever it is that I am or consider myself to be. Horrible Christian. No, just chose the wrong teacher for a period of time. It's okay. Forgive yourself. Meme says, is this a Stoicism channel? No, but I do appreciate Stoicism, especially the real sense. People think, the Stoics were unfeeling, which isn't Stoicism at all. They feel deeply, and they're okay with it. That's the big difference. Feel deeply and be okay. It's not, Stoicism isn't being indifferent at all. See, it says, Yogi Eric, if I could always choose peace, I would be the perfect woman. Alas, I have to keep trying and be imperfect. What if you're already the perfect person, perfect woman, perfect expression, and that sometimes you just choose the wrong teacher? Fisherman says, Yogi isn't a yogi, he's a monk. He's a 130 years old monk. Man, don't double my age, plus 10. Cena says, here we go, Miss Flipper, dropping the wisdom bombs, as she does. Hey, Jamie. We got the unicorn vibes from Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Hey, today, is it today that you're live streaming? Or is it tomorrow? And then you're taking a break over the weekend, right? I think it's today. If you're ready, drop your link. If you guys have links. Hey, Jamie, I don't know if you heard me mention yesterday. Whenever you have a short that you've put out, that you made, or a video, drop it. Drop the link in the live stream. Let people know what you're doing. Stuart says, well, that plus 10 is how many years you wore wet behind the ears? Ah, gotcha. I've been trying to dry them off ever since. Miss Pippa says she's going to dip into the fishbowl now, the fishbowl of imperatives. Let's see what comes out. Lisa says we're live in less than 30 minutes. That'll give me time to take a walk and then come by and join you as I have a cup of tea. I might do later, 7-ish or so, I might do a members only live stream briefly, 20 minutes or so. Continue talking about this stuff. Cena says, Lucy, we're coming over to say hi, sweetheart. Nice. Stuart says, Miss Flipper, a fishbowl, that's a very nice cocktail drink. Never had it. I never really drank cocktails. I was a beer and tequila person. Occasionally, if I needed to drop some weight for a competition, I might have a night of gin and tonic. Less calories than beer. But man, a horrific hangover. Soulstar says, drop the link for the short and then add a link to the short that leads to another video. Nice, I like that. Shirley says, Lassie woke me up to go out, but it's too early, so back to bed for a bit. I hope to visit with you all later. Thank you so much, Shirley. Yep, make sure you get that sleep. Cena says, is anyone going live in the next 2 hours? I will visit. I can't drop my links on my phone at the moment. Gotcha. However, just know Lucy's going to be live within 30 minutes. All right, guys, just a minute. We're going to wrap things up. I'm waiting for that fishbowl of imperatives from Miss Blipper, sorry. Solsa says, good morning. There we go. Miss Blipper says, forget not this. Bargain is to set a limit, and any brother with whom you have a limited relationship you hate. Ties in very nicely. Miss Flipper says, woe. Woe is from Miss Flipper. I'm pretty sure. I've been reading Course in Miracles pretty continuously for over 30 years. But I can't definitively say that I know every word. But I'm pretty sure nowhere in the entirety of A Course in Miracles does Jesus say, woe. Almost positive. Miss Flipper can correct me on that if I'm wrong. If you click on people's channels who are blue, you can visit the channel. Gotcha. Selena says she dropped the link. Thank you so much, Selena. Moderator extraordinaire. Lucy says, are we ready for the weekend? Going to see a friend. Nice. Enjoy your time away, Lucy. We'll hold the fort down for you, my friend. Simple says, Jamie sweating. Are down here? Yeah, you guys are in a heat wave, right? Early. Fishman says, but hot, as in my ideal temperature. Gotcha. Yeah, going to be hot too. Stuart says, I hate being too hot. David says, so MK Fishman. Did I miss MK? There he is. MK says, good morning. Good morning to you. Just in time. I'm glad you made it. But I got to wrap things up. I got to put my shoes on and get ready to get out there in the morning and see what comes to me. Lucy says I have to go and get ready for my live. Bye, Yogi, Eric, and everyone. Goodbye, Lucy. We'll see you in a little bit. MK is saying hi to everyone. All right, guys, I got to wrap things up. MK says, hey, Yogi. Raven says, I was in the sun 10 minutes yesterday. I got sunburnt. Be careful. You might want to consider sunscreen a little bit. Hey, Eric. Eric Point says, another great live. Thank you so much, Eric. Celia says, Yogi Eric, no squirrel sniper. And I can never feel his big blue moderator shoes. Big blue moderator shoes. No, but you are just as awesome in your own right, Selena. I love the fact that you guys care so much about my channel. Thank you. Stuart says, so sort of the point. Raven says that, wow, that was with sunscreen. What's it called? What level? Cena says, love you, Yogi Eric. Enjoy a walk. Handsome baby cakes. Well, thank you, Selena. Thank you so much. I need a nickname aside from Selena the Celestial, which is beautiful. Selena the Cute Celestial. I'm trying to stick with the C theme. Selena the Hot Chick Celestial. How is that? As you can tell, I'm terrible at it. Sniper says coconut oil for me. Does that protect or enhance? Raven says factor 20, so might need stronger. Yeah, what it goes? I think it goes all the way up to 50 now, right? Cena says I got my last minute flirt in with seconds to spare. You eked it in there, right across the finish line. Miss Pippa says finally I sub to Selena the Celestial. Sniper says both Eric. Gotcha. I never considered that, Sniper. Stars is laughing. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I do want to talk about Fishman says, Yogi, how much hay you feeding Miss Flipper? How much hay? I can promise you I've never given an ounce of hay to Miss Flipper. Tina says, Eric, please don't flirt with me. That ruins the illusion. But I love hot chick Selena. I like hot chick Selena too. I will not flirt with you, but know in my mind, I might occasionally slip in the hot chick Selena. Miss Pippa says she might tell me whether the magician, Hierophant, or fool loves me more. Show up on Terror Tuesday. Ask her to pull a card for you. Okay, say to Eric. All right, I'm out the door. Raven says bye. Everyone stay safe. Have a great day. You too, Raven. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Love you all. I'm going to see Selena the Sexlestial. Wow. Clever. Clever. I wish I had said that. Tina says, Miss Flipper, no one can love you more than you. Nicely said. Take care, guys. I just heard that first bird of the morning. That's my sign. I'm going to see everyone later. Thanks.